Welcome back to Paranormal Resident. In today's video, I tell you the story of the conspiracy theory that could have caused the sinking of the Titanic on April 1912, in which 1,517 people lost their life. But first, we travel to Egypt, where our story begins. Before we start, hit the like button and why not subscribe and become a resident of my channel. Egyptologist Douglas Murray neither liked nor trusted a dishevelled American who sought him out in Cairo in 1910. The man had a bad manner and appeared to be in the final stages of disease, but Murray, a refined British man, could not resist his offer, for the American was offering him the most priceless find of his career. It was the mummy case of a high princess in the temple of Amun-Ra, who was supposed to have lived about 1600 BC. The outside of the case bore the image of the princess, exquisitely worked in enamel and gold. The case was in an excellent state of preservation. An avid collector, Murray couldn't resist. He drew a cheque on the Bank of England and took immediate steps to have the mummy case shipped to his London home. The cheque was never cashed. The American died that evening. Murray learned from another Egyptologist in Cairo why the price had been so reasonable. The princess from Amun-Ra had held high office in the powerful cult of the dead, which had turned the fertile valley of the Nile into a place only of death. Inscribed on the walls of her death chamber, she had left a legacy of misfortune and terror for anyone who disrupted her resting place. Murray scoffed at this superstition until 3 days later. That was when he was on a shooting expedition up the Nile, and the gun he was carrying exploded mysteriously in his hand. After weeks of agony in hospital, his arm had to be amputated above the elbow. On the return voyage to England, 2 of Murray's friends died from unknown causes. 2 Egyptian servants who had handled the mummy also died within the year. Back in London, Murray found that the mummy case had arrived. When he looked at it, the carved face of the princess seemed to come alive with a stare that chilled the blood. Although he had made his mind up to get rid of it, a woman friend convinced him to give it to her. Within weeks, the woman's mother died, her lover deserted her, and she was stricken with an undiagnosed wasting disease. When she instructed her lawyer to make her will, she insisted on returning the mummy case to Douglas Murray. By now a broken wreck of a man, Murray wanted no part of it. He presented it to the British Museum, but even in that cold and scientific institution, the mummy case was to become notorious. A photographer who took pictures of it immediately dropped dead. An Egyptologist in charge of the exhibition was also found dead in his bed. Disturbed by the newspaper stories, the board of the museum met in secret. There was a unanimous vote to ship the mummy case to a New York museum, which had agreed to accept the gift provided it was handled without publicity and sent by the safest possible means. The case must be shipped by the prestigious new vessel making her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York that month. All arrangements were successfully completed, but the mummy case never reached New York. It was in the cargo hold of the unsinkable Titanic. The Titanic carried 1,517 people to their doom on April 15, 1912. Did the Titanic fall victim to the curse of an Egyptian princess, or was it just a coincidence? Let me know down below. You have been watching Paranormal Resident. If you could, please like and subscribe. You can share this video with your friends. You can follow me on Instagram at Paranormal Resident, Twitter at Paranormal Resi, and Facebook at Paranormal Resident Ireland. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.